Go, 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 go.
3, 2, 1, 4 tires.
Still there, inside.
What a jump! What a jump!
The track is wet. It's good.
Still there, clear.
3, 2, 1. Green flag, green flag.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Foreign Field Podcast. I am your host, Dom Capilupo, joined as always by Steve Ray, Wesley Riddle, and Sam Dooley. And this week on our awards episode, we've got special guests from the NASholes Podcast. We got Benny B and Drew Scarvan. Guys, welcome to the Foreign Field Podcast.
Happy to be on. Thank you.
Thanks for having us, man.
Now, before we get too much farther into here while people are still listening, where can everyone find you guys on social media?
All right. Well, you guys can find us on YouTube and Spotify, NASholes Podcast. Just type that in. You find us on X, we're NASholes Pod. Find us on TikTok as well. NASholes Podcast or NASholes.podcast, I believe. Just type in NASholes, you'll find us.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, super excited to have you guys here. And while you're looking them up, if you've stumbled upon this podcast and you're not following it, at Foreign Field Podcast, just on every social media platform. And if you know a friend that is looking for some racing content, some NASCAR talk throughout the off season, share this episode with them and see if they enjoy the content. Send them to the NASholes Podcast as well to get some off-season content, because a lot of the major shows are kind of starting to die down for the winter. And before we move into our awards, I just want us to take a moment to, think about Greg Biffle and his family and friends that were on the plane in the tragic accident in Statesville that happened today, December 18th in the morning. So we'll just take a quick moment of silence and remember all those that were lost today. All right. So Greg Biffle, great driver, a great personality in the sport, was a perennial name kind of when we all grew up and, started watching NASCAR. And
Oh my God.
yeah, absolute household name, Truck Series champion, Xfinity Series champion, a runner-up in the Cup Series. He was the closest. He's been the closest to winning a championship in all three of the major series in NASCAR. Sure, we could go on for forever talking about Greg Biffle, and we will. He won't be forgotten, and his humanitarian efforts just unmatched, honestly, as a human being. So we'll
Rest in power, King.
absolutely, and we'll get to talk about Greg Biffle more. I'm sure we could even do a whole episode just talking about Greg Biffle this off season. But Steve, Wes, and Sam, I haven't let you guys talk yet, and we're already a few minutes in here. But awards, I think this has been one of the more anticipated episodes, I'd say, of the season. Is getting these awards done here today.
Certainly. I forgot to wear my tuxedo, though. So you have to forgive me for that. Yeah, it'll be fun going through some different awards. We got probably a dozen or so categories to go through. So it'll be fun to hear what all of our awards are going to be.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we got Wes repping the Hendrick Motorsports hat. I mean, that's your Cup Series champion. I don't know if that's going to foreshadow any awards here moving forward, if that's an indicator.
We're gonna find out. I don't think it will, but we're gonna find out here shortly. I had my toboggan, my beanie on. I don't know what you call it in what certain area. You can call it either, but wanted to swap it out from the Junior Motorsports over to Hendrick just to rip this hat. I've got my large hat collection in the closet of probably one too many for any living human being. So.
Now, Wes has got a great hat collection. He showed me it when I went down there for Martinsville weekend. I'm very jealous actually. I need to get a setup like that because I love wearing hats, love collecting hats.
This would have been a great time for me to pull out Quinn Half. I always love a Quinn Half hat, one of a kind.
Man, good old Quinn and Sam. I'm sure he's if you're not watching, he's got his Alabama hat on. Bowl game tomorrow. Well, to be today when this episode does get released against the Oklahoma. So real quick, is Alabama going to beat the Sooners?
No.
I don't think so. Maybe I don't know. I don't think either team's very good. So whoever wins that, I think is going to get crushed. I think it's Indiana this the next game. So I'll be cheering for Bama. I hope they go all the way. But looking at it realistically, as a observer of college football, neither team is really that good. So it'll be a fun game though. Fun game.
All right, and if you're not watching, Drew's got a Brett Favre jersey on, so we could see Brett Favre maybe making a return here. If Philip Rivers could do it, we said Brett Favre can too.
Dude, just let him walk on Lambeau Field one more time. Just let it happen, guys.
I say just let him play in his Wrangler jeans.
Oh, throwback, dude. Total throwback commercial right
Dude,
there.
him and Dale Jr. with the
Dude,
Wrangler
I was
jeans.
just about to say, like growing up for me, like Brett Favre and Dale Jr. repping Wranglers, it was pretty fucking tight.
It's kind of unfortunate that we didn't get Brett Favre in a Budweiser commercial.
God, that would have been something. But we did get Brett Favre in a NASCAR team in the late '90s. So
I mean, many people probably didn't even know that. That's kind of like that
I
crazy
did not
pull
even
right
know
there.
that, dude.
oh yeah,
Drew
no,
is going deep in his bag.
I think he started it up with Dale Jarrett. I don't know if it was him, but he went halves. He was on a team, but it was not good. It didn't last long.
He didn't even need NASCAR's crazy charter system to knock him out.
Nah, they were just that bad.
And so, real quick before we start the awards, one last thing. We had a little debate in our Foreign Field podcast chat. So, what's the best time zone? Because I think the East Coast is the best coast.
Okay, I need to speak to this because I've lived in the Midwest most of my life. I now live in South Carolina, and I can confidently tell you that the Midwest time zone is the best.
Correct answer.
Yeah,
I concur.
Yeah, Central Time all the way, baby.
But like, I know everything before you guys do.
Well,
Shit.
we do. You do make a
He's
point.
got us, guys. He's a man
Like,
of science, and he's got us.
I actually know everyone's picks for their awards because I'm an hour ahead of you guys.
Oh,
Wes is
man.
too.
Well, that means
Dude,
I
they
do
stole
too.
it from me.
Oh yeah, so we got half the field here that knows everyone's answers, and then the other half over there, they don't even know what's coming.
I like to live a life of surprise.
Mhm.
Hey, real quick before we go further, insane pull by Drew because it was Dale Jarrett that Brett Favre was paired up with. They ran a Busch Series
Great
team
ball,
from
Drew.
99 to 2000. Looks like they had Kenny Irwin Jr. as their driver. But it was split between him, Jason Jarrett, Dale Jarrett ran a race, Steve Grissom, Hut Strickland, Morgan Shepherd. Just kind of had a whole only 29 races, 0 wins to their credit.
Yeah. Deep cut. It was a real deep cut.
All right, so let's get into the awards. Our first award, we're just gonna go. Everyone's gonna say who their answer is, and obviously, if there's one answer more than the others, that'll be the true clear-cut winner. Tiebreakers, we'll have to see. Maybe if it's 2-2, we let the other two guys that didn't pick them pick. But first award here, the Rookie of the Year. All these awards we kind of just did Cup. So obviously Xfinity, you'd definitely pick Connor Zilic and maybe even overall be Connor Zilic. But this is Cup Series only. So really you got two options here. You have SVG and the clear-cut winner, Riley Herbst.
I think we can all say this is a 5-on-1 vote.
I've got
here.
SVG.
This is
I got
SVG.
SPG, man.
Oh, what? Nah, I'm for Herps all the way, dude. That poor guy, he's so strong getting through that shit season like that.
He was underfunded,
Oh,
unchartered.
Kind guy, kind
yeah.
fella, bad in the car. Good kind guy, bad in a race car.
What I'm hearing, it's 3-2. Wes has not given his answer. Could Wes tie this up for Riley?
What did I say? I think Riley Herbst had the best worst finish of any rookie since Cole Witt and Mike Lynette of a full-time driver. I mean, absolutely thrilling. I mean,
Rest
even
in
as
peace,
I
Michael
mentioned,
Annette too. By the way,
rest in peace.
we
Yeah,
didn't mention him.
Oh
yeah,
man, I forgot
yeah.
about that.
It's been a rough week.
It's been a real
For
rough
sure.
week.
It's been
I
a
didn't
rough
even want to
stretch.
think about that, but you mentioned him.
Yeah.
Everybody protect L Jr. at all costs.
Goodness. Right. I know. It's
24/7 security now.
yeah. So I mean, maybe I don't know. Maybe Riley is underfunded this year. I don't know. I guess we'll find out since he has pretty much a free ride next year. So I'll I'll stick by old Shane Van Gisbergen.
All right, so SVG will
Let's go.
win the Ford Field Podcast Rookie of the Year. Honestly, probably the biggest thing he's won so far this, in his NASCAR career. So
Big
congrats to SVG. And so let's go into our next award. Let's go most improved driver of the year. And so instead of just kind of shouting out answers, I'm looking at the display here. We'll go with Sam, then Steve, Drew, Benny, Wesson, and myself. We'll go in that order for all these picks, just so we have a kind of some organization there. So Sam, your most improved driver of the year.
My most improved driver, shocker, it's going to be Bubba Wallace. That's a homer pick, but also he just kind of, it was the most consistent season that I've seen him put together pretty much in his Cup career. It seems like he's steadily going on a good trajectory, and this year it took a big leap. So I'm going Bubba Wallace.
Mine will be John Hunter Nemechek, jumping from in 2024 going 34th in the point standings to 25th this year, jumping 9 spots in the points and a lot more top 10s and a couple top 5s in there as well. Big jump forward. It was a toss up really between him and Eric Jones, but I think if I were to give a better improved season year over year, it'd be Nemechek.
So I chose Josh Berry for my most improved driver. He was pretty consistent throughout the year. He did have a few, rough spells, including the first week of the the first round of playoffs. But you can't control that. So yeah, no, big ups to him. And I was also very impressed by the way he won Vegas early last season as well. So.
My turn, right?
Yeah.
All right. It's a tough one for me, but it's unfortunate that the way that it kind of went down for this guy in the end. But I think Josh Berry, man, like he made his way into the playoffs, and for the most part in the season, he was racing really well. And it was probably the most disastrous way the playoffs could have went for him. But I really think that he improved himself, man. And I'm hoping that next year we see something a little bit better. Maybe even if he gets in the playoffs, he does a little bit better than what he did.
My pick this year was actually Ryan Preece. I think a lot of people had kind of low expectations for the previous years he's had, and then obviously RFK stepping up, having a third charter. I feel like there were concerns that he was going to underperform, right? Just the expansion of resources. And he went out there and pretty much, I guess, without the disqualification at Talladega, he probably would have beat Chris Buescher in points just with the points that he would have had in that race because I think he finished second. So, I mean, for him to go out there and pretty much put a whooping on his own team, right? The team owner and Chris Buescher, who's known for being one of the most consistent guys in the sport, I feel like was really impressive. So for me, I had to go with Ryan Preece.
All right, so I am going with SVG based off of his performance on the ovals by the end of the season. By the end of the season, he was honestly a top 15 driver even on the ovals. which I think just from the start of the season where he was kind of running 25th to 30th and really running with Riley Herbst. Like there was a point where Riley Herbst was ahead of SVG in the points. And then SVG kind of took off kind of towards the end of the season. And honestly, if he would have survived that first round of the playoffs, I mean, who knows what could have happened? Just because, I mean, he was performing on the ovals as well. So I expect a lot of big things for SVG going into next year. But that means Josh Berry, by virtue of the NASholes, Josh Berry is your most improved driver of the year. All right. Now, time for race of the year. Sam, lead us off.
All right, so my race of the year had a very deep emotional impact on a lot of people in the sport, including the guy who won it. I'm going with Las Vegas Fall. So the playoff Las Vegas, Hamlin getting his 60th win. Um, just for the emotional value of it. There was a lot of races that maybe were a little more racy than that one, but just overall the impact that it had, like the impact that it had on the sport. That's why I went with Hamlin's 60th at Las Vegas in the fall.
Mine is going to be the Bristol night race. This was very reminiscent of old school Bristol tire wear, a lot of cars hugging the bottom, and just really a lot of unpredictability. Zane Smith running top 10 like all night, and just a start to finish race. Green flag to checkered flag. I think it held a big entertainment factor with it. So I will go with the Bristol night race.
All right.
You
So
know,
for
oh,
my
but
pick,
you,
what the hell,
oh,
Ben? Come on, dude.
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, shut up, Ben. It's my time. So my pick, I chose Mexico City purely off the fact that it's technically the first international race that Cups participated in since fuck, I don't even know when. But no, I mean it was a pretty significant moment though for the sport. You know, going over, even if it was just to the country directly beneath us, I think it was still a pretty good step in the right direction for the sport.
Yeah, I would love to say that the race that I was at, which I was at Darlington for the throwback race, I'd love to say that was my favorite race. It was until it wasn't. I'm a big Blaney fan, so I mean, he was literally going to win that race, and then freaking Larson, 167 laps down, had to ruin everything. But I really thought that the Kansas playoff race where Chase Elliott won, I thought that was absolutely incredible, man. Just the way that finished out, and like him coming back from 10th place and winning that race. I mean, that end of that race gave me chills. I mean, just amazing, man. And there's a lot of other good races, I'm sure, that are probably better than that, but that one really sticks out in my mind.
All right. Well, first, just real quick, Wes, before you go, I mean, that Darlington race, I didn't see a problem with the finish of that one. That was a pretty good finish.
Yeah, no, there was no problem with it. It's just like, so it's crazy. Like, I didn't have a Blaney shirt, and I saw one, and I bought one there, and like he literally took the lead or whatever. He got in like fourth, I believe, or he was climbing. Like he had a good car that day, and I was like, screw it, I'm putting this Blaney shirt on right now because I had this shirt on right here, this Cookout Southern 500 shirt on, and I was like, I'm putting this on. I'm like, he's gonna win, man. And then that happened. I was like, no. I was like, I can't believe this just happened in front of my own two eyes. But yeah, no. Denny Hamlin ended up winning. It was a very good race. But yeah, I don't know. It really upset me.
All right, Wes. Race of the year.
I'm gonna have to go with Steve here. I thought the Bristol night race, for me, that's a race that's right up my alley. Obviously, it's not like old school tire fall off, but I feel like the closest thing we're gonna get, especially for right now. The ebbs and flows in the race. Steve, you mentioned that Zane Smith, it was his the run of his career. I mean, he had a shot to win that race. Corey Heim, best finish in the Cup Series, looked really good compared to his teammates. Ryan Blaney, really good tire strategy, and then an exciting finish. But throughout the race, it's just like the ebbs and flows, right? I feel like this year we didn't get a race that had more ebbs and flows when it came down to the Bristol night race. So for me, that was my favorite race of the year.
All right, I'm going with the summer Atlanta race. I thought that race was very racy. Even when you take out 20 people at a big wreck, you still come back. And I mean, just the battle there at the end. Chase Elliott felt like he was up in the lead, then he'd be back in 10th, then get back to the lead, then be back in 10th. And it felt like it was Brad K versus the field. And Chase Elliott was able to outduel Brad Keselowski at kind of Brad Keselowski's, type of racing. And I thought that was very exciting for the fan base. I mean, the fan base was buzzing, and it just added to the lore of if you're gonna buy a race ticket, it's got to be Atlanta right now. That's the hottest ticket on the market. So, by virtue of Stephen West, the Bristol night race was the Ford Field Podcast race of the year. All right, now we jump into not just the whole race, but just the finish of the year.
All right, my finish of the year is actually the closest one of the season. I'm going with the regular season finale that Ryan Blaney won at Daytona, that had all of the bubble guys on the edge of their seats trying to see who was about to win that. Um, and that all of that, even though I hate the playoffs, it did add some suspense to that. Um, and so yeah, that would be my finish of the year because it was really close. It's like the closest margin of the top drivers like ever or something, like top four or something ever. Um, so yeah, that's my finish of the year.
Yep, I will double down and ditto that. What Sam said, I'll say the regular season finale at Daytona. Cole Custer almost got his redemption from a near Daytona 500 win, where he probably should have won, because if it wasn't for Denny Hamlin. So, but Ryan Blaney's win at Daytona, definitely the finish of the year.
All right, so for finish of the year, I actually went with Ross Chastain's Coke 600 win, because the way that guy just reeled in Byron ever so slowly, and it was just building and building and building and building, and like he finally passes him, and it's just like, yes, it's like, I don't know, it was amazing. I know me and Ben were geeking out the entire time, blowing each other's phones up. It was a scene, but so I mean that's probably plays a part into this too. But no, I loved. I don't know. I just loved the run. It was probably my favorite run of the year, honestly. So.
This was a close one for me. I'm between, Sam and Steven and Drew, but and as much as I love Blaney, I have to go with that finish at Charlotte, like Drew said, we were geeking out over that. And Drew and I admittedly are Chastain fans. And I'm probably a bigger Blaney fan than Chastain, if I'm being honest. But it was so impressive. I mean, he started at the back of the field. I believe the night before, they had to work overnight on that car, the backup car, and so they started at the back of the field. And just to work his way up that way and methodically, just do that, I thought it was just one of the most impressive finishes, really. But yeah, I mean, it comes really close, but I'm going to go with that, but it comes very close to the Daytona win from Blaney.
Man, tied 2-2 here, Wes.
I won't be the one doing the tiebreaker here. I went a little bit different. I actually went back to Circuit of the Americas. I feel like the battle there between, you had Kyle Busch leading late, and obviously he fell off, but you had Christopher Bell, the Ultimate Race winner, Tyler Reddick, and William Byron. And let me make sure. I don't remember if they finished in that order. Yeah, William Byron was second, Tyler Reddick third. I thought the driving ability, like just the pure driving ability of those three, and Kyle Busch too, right, with worn tires, was some of the best racing we've ever seen on a road course. over the course of a multiple laps. And I don't even think they changed position, but that's just how exciting it was. Just seeing how they were able to maneuver the cars, try to hold on to it because their tires were extremely worn too. Nobody, giving an inch, but also no over aggressive driving. It was just pure respect amongst three of the best in the sport. And I feel like the way that finish played out and just going back and watching it, even though they're not changing position, it was just an incredible battle. And we don't see that a whole lot. You see guys overstep, intentionally wreck, accidentally wreck, but these guys didn't and put on just one hell of a battle. And Christopher Bell got, I think, his second win that was the second of 3 straight wins.
Yeah, that was back when my 9-win prediction for Christopher Bell was looking pretty good.
Possible.
Well, we're gonna have to settle a tiebreaker here because I picked the Fall Kansas race for finish of the year, and just from the green-white checker, the first green-white checker where you've got Bubba and Christopher Bell side by side. Looks like Bubba's running Christopher Bell up into the wall, and then all of a sudden the camera pans to Zane Smith just wall riding on his side, and then ultimately tumbling down the banking. Then on the last attempt at green-white checker, you've got the drivers that restarted 8th and 10th, both getting up there and finishing 1-2, and then a little, a heated battle between Denny Hamlin and the car that he owns, Bubba Wallace, going into turns 3 and 4, and then Chase Elliott kind of coming out of nowhere and kind of stealing one. I think that
worst finish of the year. I hated that one. I did not like that one. Not a fan. This guy was not a fan.
Well, the worst finish of the year was Phoenix, but that's neither here nor there. So, you know what? Since we both can't do it because then we might still be tied, Wes, I'm going to let you pick between the Summer Daytona race and the Coke 600.
Man, that's tough. I mean, we were at the Coke 600. That was really exciting. And also, I kind of want to I feel like Chastain might, I don't know, that poor guy, he deserves an award after the way the rest of the year kind of went for him. I guess for me, though, I've got to go Daytona. The reason going Daytona 4 wide pretty much throughout the whole field and nobody wrecked, right? I feel like so many of these super speedway races, even in the next gen car, we see somebody do something stupid, a dumb block for the lead, pushing and shoving further back that causes the second half of the field to spin, but they were actually to race it back. Blaney was able to come from 18th, starting the 4th lane, come to the lead, and then hold off a pack of guys that were all trying to, equally win the race. And one of those guys that was a playoff or outside of the playoffs could have easily wrecked, just trying to make it in, and nobody did. So for me, I've got to go Daytona.
Well, we know Wes just said all of that, but in all honesty, he didn't want the NASholes taking over another award. So,
oh man, but my thoughts are with Chastain. I do like Ross, and we were there. That was
yeah,
that was nice because he never was able to really put a good race together the rest of the year, and get another win. So hopefully Ross will have an up here. But that Charlotte, I will say, race of the year contender, underrated. Charlotte. I mean, that was a great race.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah,
really,
how was
really
that
good.
being there for that? Because, I'm only 4 hours from Charlotte, and is that a track that I should be going to in 2026?
Yes.
On the schedule,
100%.
mark it
not
down.
the Roval,
Yes.
not the Roval.
No,
not
don't
the
go to the
Roval.
Roval.
Come on, who's spending money on the Roval?
Gosh, Marcus.
Uh,
Marcus.
Yeah, him.
I went to the 600. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I liked it. Everything I've heard from these guys, they loved it. So I recommend the 600 personally.
It
If I was
it
in-
superb.
I'll put it this way: if I was in Charlotte and the Roval was happening that weekend, I would rather spend my money on a Charlotte Hornets ticket.
Oh God. Yeah, that's bad, Bubba.
Oh man. All right. Let's get into the upset winner of the year award. Sam.
My upset winner of the year is Josh Berry.
My
Not much
upset
explanation.
winner is going to be Bubba Wallace at the Brickyard 400.
I couldn't pick Bubba like 3 times or 4 times or whatever.
I was
had to pick
expecting
one.
you to,
I had to
actually.
pick one to leave him out. There were
I was
so many
expect-
that I wouldn't.
I was
have
expecting
picked
your most improved Bubba, your race of the year Brickyard 400, the finish the Brickyard 400.
I had to spread it out a little bit, spread the love.
Well, I'm going to be going with Sam here and saying Josh Berry.
Yeah, I mean, I got to go with Steven, man. Bubba Wallace at the Brickyard.
Oh man, Wes, they're doing it to you again.
Not again.
He's gonna say
Gosh,
Austin Dillon. He's gonna say Austin Dillon.
I'm actually
I
not on this
feel it.
one. The reason I'm not going Austin, I mean, a lot of people could, but he's always been good at Richmond, so it's really not a surprise that he was able to get a win. I mean, he won there last year, but he's been good there since he was in Xfinity, so, or I guess the Nationwide. So for me, it's going to show a little bias. My Virginia team, I've got to go Josh Berry. Seeing him when I know he's won at Vegas twice in Xfinity. Dom and I were there for one of them. That was a second career win we were there for. But just for the Wood brothers to go out there winning a mile and a half and beat Joe Gibbs, beat Hendrick, beat, the main Penske bunch, like that's a statement. So for me, I had to go Josh Berry.
So I could tie it up here with Bubba, but I'm not. It was Josh Berry all the way. Josh Berry, just the way they won that race is just on pure speed there at the end. You had to go the 21 team after what people might as, was it Harrison Burton? Was it the Wood brothers? A little combination of both. So just kind of running 30th a lot in previous years just to, start the year off in race. What was that, 3? Getting
Race
a win
3.
like that. Yeah, that's definitely got to be
And
upset of
dupe
the year.
everyone into thinking that they
Actually,
were going to be a
5.
contender for this year, and
Weren't
then
they also
do
saying too that was the first mile and a
nothing.
half win for the Wood brothers since like the late 80s, early 90s?
Oh, it must have been, right? I mean, think of all the
Yeah.
guys, Kenny Schrader, Ricky Rudd, they didn't win in the 21. So been a
And
long
Elliott
time.
Sadler, he won at Bristol.
Sadler won at
And
Bristol,
then
Blaney won at
Blaney
Pocono.
won at Pocono.
That's no mile and a half. So
Young Trevor Bain, 20
Yeah, the
years old.
closest thing you had was when Ricky Rudd and
Ricky
Joe
Rudd and Joe
Nemechek
Nemechek.
at Kansas.
Right. So Josh Berry getting the upset winner of the year award. All right. Now on to the crash of the year. Sam, I'm sure there's plenty to pick from here, but what's the best one?
There was a lot. The aforementioned what was it, Zane Smith that was wall riding in overtime and just rolled off the wall. That could also double for a laugh of the year. Ryan Preece like flying at Daytona for a second before he flipped. That was a great crash. I went with the lap 3 parking lot at the Chicago Street Course. I've got my Chicago Street Course koozie right now. Just because I mean, honestly, I went for the funny factor. That was hilarious to just see, like, there was just 3 cars stopped and no one could get by because it was a street course. It looked like it was, 5 o'clock traffic in downtown Chicago. So yeah, that's my crash of the year.
Well, I went with the 22 car pileup at the Atlanta night race. That the half the field died in turn 3 and took out a lot of big contenders. Denny Hamlin was in it. Byron Logano was in it. Larson. There was a big pileup there. 22 cars, all in total. So I'll go with the Atlanta night race big one.
Well, I'm gonna go with not Josh Berry, Ryan Preece's Daytona 500 flip, purely because I pissed myself laughing when I watched the replay and you see his front tire spinning, and then you can see he's clearly slamming the brakes, as if that's gonna do something. So
Wait.
yeah. So I mean, to start off the year with that is like, boom! We're not recreating that greatness.
I totally agree with Drew, man. That for me, that has to be it. And like he said, he slams the brakes, and you're just like, and I didn't notice it till Drew actually pointed out, like, did you know that he just like slammed it? I'm like, dang, dude, it's just like a natural response. It's like, I can brake in the air.
Oh,
if I can brake on
hey.
the ground, I can brake in the air.
Oh, hey,
But-
guys, Ben also has a hilarious Ryan Preece Daytona story he should share right now.
Oh, are you talking about where I jinxed it or whatever? So, okay, this is bad. So what was this was it last year or 2 years ago, Drew? Was
2
that
years ago, I think.
whatever race
it was-
where Priest flipped 12 times or whatever? So I think during that race, I was probably rooting for Blaney, and I think Blaney was up there, and something happened where he dropped back a little bit. I texted Drew. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I want a caution. I want a caution right now. And I like Reese. Like, Drew and I, we root for him. And he's like, you don't. He's like, you don't know what you're doing here. I was like, dude, I don't care. I want a caution. I want Blaney to win this damn race. And sure shit, the very next lap, one of the most is like it just starts flipping, and I just go, "Oh God, oh no, what have I done? He's gonna die!"
Dude, I remember blowing him up. I was like, "You killed Ryan Reese, you monster!"
Being at that race, that was one of the 2 times that I thought someone had died that night because I was there for
I was
that.
scared shitless.
I watched him flip over and over again. Like I could see it. I was on the front stretch, like pretty close to the track. I could see him flipping on the back stretch, which anyone that's been to a 2.5 mile track, like that is insane to be able to see something on the back stretch. And I saw him go up and I was like, oh my God. That and then when Blaney nailed it into the wall in 4, though, like I thought I had watched someone die twice that night. I was seeing ghosts when I was walking out of that place.
Yeah, that was scary, man. Honestly, like when that happened, I said, "Oh, I was like, oh no!" Like I literally thought, I'm like, it's over. Like he's done. Like, he's dead.
Yeah, that was a great
But
lesson.
yeah,
to
I
learn
caused
day,
that.
man.
That's my fault. Sorry, guys.
Sorry, Ryan Priest. Might be.
Well, I guess that takes it over to me. I had to go with, I guess when I look at Crash of the Year, I don't really think about like the visual of it. I think about just what's the worst wreck, and it had to be Cody Ware, right? I mean, that Chicago wreck. I mean, he hit the wall head on, like 95 miles an hour. That brake rotor just busted. Had no way to slow the car down. I think it broke the Hans device. I think the whole steering wheel, like the whole column ruptured inside the car. I mean, like
Yep.
the camera broke. It was like there's no like you look at that wreck anytime before the Hans device came out, he would have been killed. Like that's just not a wreck that anybody would have been able to survive. Like, and hardly ever do we see a guy hit the wall head on, with a straight, 100% into the wall, like not even
Yeah, he's going like
trying to
90
save it.
miles an hour, I think, or like 80
Yeah,
miles an
yeah.
hour.
Like, I mean, that was just brutal. And for him to be able to walk away with that in a race the next week, or did he take a week off? I can't remember. Um,
Uh,
I think he was there the next week.
he might have been
yeah,
there the
I
next
think he
week.
was there the next week.
Yeah, so
Also,
like,
not a caution, by the way, or at
Which-
least took like 5 minutes to call the caution.
yeah, you want to talk about, yeah, like worst controversy of the year, that's up there. So, but I feel like for him, that it was a rough year for their team, and it not even a lot of it was Cody, a lot of it was mechanical. That was just the worst timing, wrong place,
No,
wrong time
horrible.
kind of situation. So for him to walk away is honestly, we take it for granted these days, but in the great scheme of things, it's still a miracle.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that the way Cody Ware crashed? Wasn't that the same way that JD McDuffie crashed at Watkins Glen back in '91?
Yeah, and for him, I mean, that took his life, which is
Yeah.
a horrible situation. Then, one that's forgotten about. I feel like in NASCAR history. So, just sometimes we take it for granted how safe these cars are, but something like that could easily take somebody out of the sport, and they're gone like that. So, shame on NASCAR for not throwing that caution though. That was one of the worst things they could have ever done. But yeah, just grateful Cody was able to walk away.
All right. Well, we're gonna need another tiebreaker because I'm going the big one at Atlanta. I mean, that was just the biggest wreck of the year. You got drivers like Austin Cindric, instead of letting up, just driving full throttle into the door of Denny Hamlin, thinking he's gonna pulling a Landon Castle from the 2019 Daytona 500 when he just he gassed it up to hit William Byron in the door in that one. But yeah, so going Atlanta for that one. And Sam, I'm gonna let you be the tiebreaker here. The big one at Atlanta or the Ryan Preece flip?
Okay, I gotta be honest. I was at one and I wasn't at the other. So when you're really drunk and you see 22 cars wreck on that small of a track, yeah, that leaves an impression on you. So I'm gonna go the big one in Atlanta.
All right, that is twice now the tiebreaker has gone against the NASholes.
Darn.
Some home field advantage here for the Florida
Baloney.
Field
This is
guys.
It's rigged.
Rigged.
All right. Now, rivalry of the year. Sam.
Oh, my rivalry of the year, Hocevar versus the Field. I didn't pick one specific one. It was kind of everybody. They hated him. He seemed to hate them. Also, honorable mention, greatest rivalry, Ty Dillon versus Brain Cells. That was a big one.
Well, at this very moment, as you might be able to hear, my rivalry is my son versus sleep. But funny enough, the NASCAR one I had written down actually was Hocevar versus everyone. So specifically probably him versus Stenhouse, but it seemed like a weekly basis Hocevar was getting into it with someone.
So for my pick, I went AJ Allmendinger versus ECR Engines.
Yeah.
That's all I gotta say. Though a strong contender, like a close second, would be Brad Keselowski going up to Hocevar's window or whatever, like post race, and just had that really awkward like altercation. I don't know. It just made me chuckle because it was like this. I don't know.
Oh, it was in practice, I think, actually.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even a race. It was at
It was
practice.
in practice at what road course was that at? It was at a road course.
Oh man,
Might have been Sonoma.
I think it was Sonoma. Might have been.
Yeah.
Uh,
I gotta go with Hocevar versus Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I believe it was Mexico. I mean, Stenhouse got in like to the car, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" and like they had the audio of it, and I just thought that was so hilarious. And then it wasn't just that moment either. Like there were other times where like Hocevar was dicking with him, man, and like Stenhouse had enough, and it came to a point where I thought for sure like Hocevar was going to get dumped by Stenhouse, and I guess just never got to that situation where Stenhouse was able to do that really. But yeah, that was crazy, and I'm sure hopefully maybe something of that will come next year.
Yeah, it's gonna for me have to be Hocevar versus pretty much everybody. I mean, you can name like you just talked about, right? Ricky Stenhouse, that was definitely the best. Brad Keselowski getting up in his face, Ross Chastain, Zane Smith, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, and then that's just to name a few. Like I don't know who else, but I feel like at some point throughout the year, I think Austin Dillon was another one. He comes on the radio when Hocevar hits the wall at Chicago and is like, biggest dumbass in the sport. Like it's just like he's the biggest dumbass in the sport. So like just everybody, I mean Hocevar's good, but he doesn't care. Oh well.
I would like to say an honorable mention for rivalry would be Tommy Baldwin versus pronouncing Hocevar correctly. We had Husqvarna, hula hoop.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they were just calling him the 77 then. They wouldn't even say his name. He refused. It was like the name that shall not be named. Well, I had Hocevar versus the Field too. So, I mean, it's just very easy pick there. But honorable mentions go to RFK versus Victory Lane. And
That hurt.
and then 2311 and Front Row versus NASCAR. I mean, I feel like that one.
Good one.
I'm surprised nobody said that.
Forgot another pronunciation one was Ward Burton versus Timothy McPeters. He doesn't know how to say
Warburton
Timothy
versus
Peters.
Caterpillar.
It's too hard to say.
the Steves versus wanting to keep their jobs at NASCAR with their text that came out.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Or me versus regular season picks.
Or Dom versus Mamba Smith.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
The Ford Fuel Podcast versus Mamba
Every time
Smith.
I'm listening, he's smoking Mamba.
Yeah.
And well, there was a lot of honorable mentions there, but Hocevar versus the field is your winner. Moving us on to performance of the year. What was that singular performance this season that kind of took it away, Sam?
Well, I had written down Bubba at the Brickyard. But I think I'm gonna change it now that I've been thinking about it a little bit. I may have to change it to Chastain at the 600, just because of everything that we were talking about before, with how just like insane the circumstances were around that. Like for him to show up and do that and just find a way from the back to the front, I'm gonna go with Chastain at the 600.
I went with more of a season-long performance, not just one single race. It was Chase Elliott's top 20 streak at 22 or 23 races to start the year before Watkins Glen finishing top 20. Granted, a lot of it was in the back half of the top 20, but nonetheless, it was still a consistent performance up to that point, and then it kind of derailed from there. But that would be my performance of the year.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure if it was like season long or just like for one singular race, but I chose Chastain's, upset at the 600 this year, and just everything I listed before was that again. That's why I picked.
I want to say Chastain at the 600, but I want to be a little bit different here. And I'm going to go with Zilich versus SVG at Sonoma in the Xfinity Series. That was just impressive, man. Like the fact that Zilich, fended him off and was able to win. Now, I kind of question if SVG kind of let him win because I don't know, man. But either way, it was impressive, and that was a hell of a race too.
But we know Zilich did not let SVG win Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then ultimately paid the price for it. Karma got him in victory lane.
Yep. Shoot.
Well, I guess, yeah, it takes it off to me. I went a little bit different. I didn't even look at season performances. I didn't look at race winners. I just looked at somebody that had like a really solid race overall. And I mentioned him earlier, but I got to go with Zane Smith at Bristol. I feel like, and I stand by it, I think he's the most underrated driver in Cup right now. When he shows up, what he's able to do with front row equipment is super impressive. But for him to be able to hang on with drivers that are used to tire wear, both in the next gen car, but also just in the Cup Series in general with more laps, he was able to put it to him. And that's in a car that runs 20 spots lower on a weekly basis. So I'm always impressed by Zane. He did a lot when he was in the lower series, and I feel like that his performance at Bristol was one that got a little bit overlooked. So his performance just in that one race alone, I feel like deserved my performance of the year.
All right, I'm going with Denny Hamlin at Las Vegas in the fall. The drive he had those last 10 laps, I don't know if I've ever seen Denny Hamlin get up on the wheel, better than that. More,
That was hell of a race.
The way he was just, right up against the wall, even though Larson was giving him literally, like you had one lane, you go up anymore, you're in the wall. And he did it lap after lap in turns 3 and 4 and finally got by Kyle Larson, who's not an easy pass, going for the win. And then he just drove by Briscoe and checked out. My honorable mention was going to be Hamlin at Phoenix. Just the way he put on a clinic, seeing a driver basically faster by half a second a lap is just something unheard of, especially on like a shorter track in the next gen era. Well, so I would have said the first 312 laps of Denny Hamlin's Phoenix, but we'll go the last 10 laps of Las Vegas. Meaning Ross Chastain's Coke 600 performance is your performance of the year. And that takes us to your personal favorite moment of the NASCAR season.
My personal favorite moment is it's kind of something that I don't know if y'all have because you weren't there, but in the fall Talladega race, NASholes guys, I don't know if you guys know, but I got pit passes for that for one of my friends. So I
Nice.
was able to be on pit road all weekend. And my favorite moment actually was at the end of the weekend, um, after Chase Briscoe had won and like they had done all the victory lane stuff. I watched Chase Briscoe sit there and take a picture with and sign stuff for like 100 people that had stayed there. This was probably an hour and a half after the race had ended. And he was still sitting there signing until every single person got what they wanted. Person got a picture, got something signed. That was just my personal favorite moment because I had never really seen something like that before because I'd never been in kind of that situation. But that kind of showed me. I feel like that's not very common. I feel like that's a really cool thing to do, and he seems like a really cool guy for doing that. So that was my personal favorite moment from this year.
My personal favorite moment, it's hard to put it on one moment, so I'll just say the entire Coke 600 weekend, because it was anywhere from the race itself to gambling with Wes across the street from the track to nearly dying in an Uber on the way to go get cookout, to doing the Giants Nation show. That whole weekend was so much fun. It was a great race to watch in person. Just the house we had and the things that we did was awesome. So I'd say the entire Coke 600 weekend was my favorite moment of the year.
So for mine, it kind of hit a little close to home for me, but it was Chase Elliott's Atlanta win when he had the Children's Hospital of Atlanta paint scheme on. And I'm not gonna like regale you with everything I've been through, but I've spent a good chunk of time in hospitals, so I have a deep love and respect for everybody, patients and like medical staff and everything like that. And like for years I've been wanting to see this car get a win because so it could make a kid's whole summer or whenever the race was exactly. But so him getting that win and then getting to see that that young girl with one leg really really touched me. So that was my moment.
So I'm going to go with so I got the chance to meet Ryan Blaney and Austin Cindric. This had to have been, it was probably in the spring or summer, I can't remember. But so my wife's in the military, she's in the Marine Corps, and this was like a completely private event, like was not advertised on JSKI or on Penske's website. So it was just like a nice little thing that they were doing. They were promoting the Southern 500. And, I got to meet, it was the first time I ever got to meet a NASCAR driver. And of course, it's my favorite driver, Ryan Blaney. I got my diecast signed. And like, they just couldn't have been nicer guys, man. Like they took their time with everybody. And granted, a lot of people that were there, they didn't know anything about NASCAR. I mean, it was just like, they just saw like they had they had their two cars. So they had the Blaney's Advanced Auto Parts and then Cindric's Discount Tire car out there. So the people saw that and they're like, oh, let's go over here. Like, what's going on? But like, it was just so cool. And I actually got Drew a signed picture.
I was going to grab it off the wall.
Yeah. And I told Blaney and Cindric about NASholes. I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast called NASholes. And like, they were really intrigued about it. And I was like, and Austin, man, like Drew, he's a big fan of you. My co-host, a big fan of you. And if you could just write to my favorite NASHole on there and then like sign your name. And he did it, man. It was cool. And then like I got it framed
it's not only that, but it's the photo he did preseason with the mustache and the I Love Hot Moms shirt or the hat.
I printed it out for him. I got it done. I framed it. I sent it to him. Of course, damn UPS broke the damn frame, freaking jackasses. But
pricks.
Yeah, so that was just really cool, man. My first time meeting a driver, and like when you meet a driver, and I'm sure you guys have met a lot of drivers, from what I've seen. But like my first time doing it, I'm just like, man, I want to do this all the time. Like I want to meet more drivers. Like this is cool, and like you really realize that like these guys are just like they're just normal people, man. Like I mean, yeah, like they're on a big stage and they're on TV every week, but like couldn't have been nicer, man. Like, couldn't have been more down to earth, and it was just really cool.
Yeah, it was. There are definitely a lot of, gosh, it's hard to top what you all have chosen so far. But for me, I had to go. I guess I didn't pick anything personal. I just looked at a moment from a race that I thought was pretty fun, and I guess it does have a little connection to me. But I had to go with old Bodie Conley taking over the radio chatter on Ryan Blaney's radio at Bristol.
Oh.
That's Bodie's Emma's son, and he's 4. He'll be 5 next year. So for me, I think I found
I
that
forgot about
hilarious.
that. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just a fun little moment that you don't get to see a lot of, right? Where a driver in a race is able to kick back and kind of have a little bit of fun. And yeah, just thought the humor to that was definitely just a pretty fun memory. So if I did have to pick something personal though, yeah, I mean, Charlotte weekend was a lot of fun. Martinsville weekend was a lot of fun. Martinsville was unique just because I had Dom, 3 different people in my life. I had Dom, David, who's like my second dad, and then Carson, who's been my best friend since 3rd grade. So it was just a crossing of different cultures. So it's pretty cool. So a lot of special memories personally, but I guess picking from a race, I had to go that little Ryan Blaney gaff.
Well, I think all these moments deserve to win the award. So even though I'm going to say the Charlotte trip, I think all these definitely deserve the award because nothing beats just personal moments at the racetrack. And yeah, that Charlotte trip was just one of the best trips I've ever been on. Starting out, driving all day to get there. Steve flew in. And then we decide we're on like 2 hours sleep. We're gonna go camp out in front of JRM for JRM Fan Day. We get there like 3 in the morning, and we're like 93rd in line at 3 in the morning. And yeah, we were there until I think around 4.
Yeah.
And then we went to 2311, and we walk in just checking out airspeed. And then we turn the corner, and all of a sudden, oh, there's Denny Hamlin just behind the front desk.
Wow. And how did you almost die in an Uber? I need to know what happened.
Yeah. So
I don't think I heard this.
Yeah. So we actually went 2 nights in a row to this bar, Pins Mechanical. Really cool place if you're in the Charlotte area. So we get done there, and we decide that we're going to get into an Uber because I had never been to Cookout before. So we're like,
oh boy,
we gotta go to Cookout. So we get into this Uber, we all load in, and I don't know what time was this, midnight, after midnight, probably.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah. So we're like zooming down these really narrow streets, zipping past all these parked cars. The guy, I forget, like ran a stop sign or stoplight. And then all I remember is we're going down a hill. I just see the train tracks at the bottom, and it's like one of those roads where you go down the hill and then you have to come up to cross the train tracks. And there's no braking. We're
going an easy 50 to 60.
Easy. In a 25. In a 25 on top of that. And so we like slam the train tracks. We like basically are screeching tires into the Cookout parking lot. and the driver, because Dom is sitting shotgun, the driver shoves his phone in Dom's face and says,
give me 5 stars.
Give me 5 stars. I give you 5 stars.
I was like, okay.
Put you in a bad spot, but you're like, okay, I just want to get out of here.
Yeah. All this to have Cookout, which, by the way, we found out after the fact that Dom and I share the same Cookout order. And on that same trip, you guys will appreciate this. Dom tried Culver's for the first time.
Let's go, man.
We picked
Culver's elite.
Picked Steve up from the airport and went right to Culver's.
Yep. There's a Culver's in Asheville, North Carolina.
Yeah.
I just they just put one right in my town where I live in South Carolina. And I'm dude, I got to stay away, man. I was going there like twice a week at one point. It was bad.
Yeah, it was so good. I ended up stopping there on the way home in Kannapolis. They have one in Kannapolis on Dale Earnhardt Boulevard, so had to go there.
I feel like if I joined y'all, I probably would have knocked your trip down 80%. So it's probably good that.
But that whole trip, had Jerky Boys, which need to order that. I keep meaning to order Jerky Boys and just haven't done it yet. And just a lot of just fun stuff there. And then everything Steve said about the race weekend. So, yeah, that Charlotte trip's going down in the books. Can't wait to go back to the track next year, and can't wait to do a live show. Like you said, Giant Station show jumping on there was awesome. So can't wait to do more live shows too. Just doing shows in person where I feel like they hit different than sitting here on Zoom doing these episodes.
I'll have to try to join y'all one time in Charlotte. I got to see if I can make that happen.
I gotta tell you, Darlington's on our bucket list too.
Oh, Darlington's awesome, man.
Yeah.
I've been there twice. It's great.
Yeah, that's hands down like my favorite track on video games to race and to watch in person. Like I just love Darlington. It's always tough though on
sweet,
Southern 500 weekend because my wife's birthday is usually on Labor Day weekend. It's always tough to get down there for the Southern 500, which is the race that I want to go to.
Mm-hmm. All right. So let's jump into our favorite funny moment of the season. Sam, what's sitting there making you laugh?
Mine was already mentioned, but it was the Ryan Preece flip in the Daytona 500. Just the way that he went up, especially now that they pointed out that he was hitting the brakes in the air, that makes it even funnier. But yeah, just the way that he just kind of takes off like a rocket ship going up, and then he just flips. That got a good chuckle out of me.
So mine is going to go back to our Charlotte trip, back to the JRM fan day. So another story from that is...
Oh, I know where you're going.
So, yeah, we were dealing with some line cutters most of the morning. So we started like 90th in line, and I think by the time we actually got our wristbands, there were probably like 25 people that had cut in line. But specifically, there were these two... They're probably like teenagers or like early 20s, these two boys that kept trying to like cut people, but they were not trying to hide it at all. So every time that they tried to cut the line, people were like, hey, you can't do that. And they would just kick them out. And one time when I forget who was with me, was it Dom? I think you were off doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in the gift shop and we were just hanging up by the register. I think we were waiting for you to finish up, getting your shirt and whatnot. So the line wrapped through the store and then like looped around. It was doing like 3 laps through the store. And these guys just like came up, they grabbed a Sundrop, and then they tried to turn around and buy something. And then I was like, well, wait a second, guys, like the line is going all the way around the place. So every time that they kept trying to cut in line and then we're getting booted out was pretty funny. And then Anthony, who was with us, we got dropped off, I think it was the next day at Walmart because we were going to meet Ryan Blaney. And I kept telling him, because there was no shade in front of Walmart, I said, hey, might be a good idea to put on some sunscreen because no hat or anything. And he refused to put on sunscreen. And by the time he was Larry the Lobster red, burnt in the head. And he was actually wearing his hat backwards. So just the little part right here was white and the rest was all red. Getting the toaster signed by Ryan Blaney and the DBC guys. That was a good laugh too. So
wait, that was you?
Yeah, that was us.
Motherfucker.
Yep.
Dude.
They're the toaster guys.
Yep,
yeah.
We're the toaster guys.
Dude, they talked about that on they mentioned it on like DBC, I think, the week after it happened or whatever. And I was like, yo, fucking God tier.
Yep,
that was they literally at that Walmart, they bought like a cheap just $10 toaster and then
when we met Freddie, we said, hey, we got something for you to sign. We pull out the toaster and he just starts laughing because he knows the bit. Carson laughed because he knew the bit. Tommy wasn't there to sign it, but then the next day we were meeting Blaney. And so then we got Ryan to sign it. We explained the story to him, and then he was laughing about it. So, yeah. So Anthony and I and our group were the the originators of getting the toaster signed.
Yeah, so if you Anthony's handle on Twitter is literally ToasterMan12.
Oh man. Well, so for my favorite laugh, uh, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of stuck between Dinger motherfucking ECR on the radio and Ryan Priest trying to stop, stop trying to take off. uh, so I don't know, guys. Can I just have a draw there?
I mean, I'll allow it.
All right, cool.
Man, we are so far removed from the season that I'm sure there's been so many things that I've laughed at, but the one that Drew mentioned is the Dinger, just crashing out over ECR. He's like, motherfucker, and he's just like, it made me laugh. He's like, fuck you, ECR. I just thought that was hilarious because you don't really hear stuff like that. I mean, I guess you do, but when he's just cussing out ECR, and you're just like, dang, dude, this guy has a personal mission to probably kill him now.
Well, isn't it funny that Colleague and RCR severed ties at the end of the year? You think that had a play in it? Totally not, just because they're going to Dodge.
Well, I guess for me, I'm not somebody that laughs a whole lot. I guess I'm not the most humorous guy, but
Wow, way to make it dark now, Wes.
Shoot, well, I guess there's
Smile
me,
once a
but
while, Wes. Damn.
I know it's just on the pod. The moment that was funniest to me was I don't remember what race it was, but watching Jamie McMurray feed the little kangaroo.
Oh,
I just that's just so random. But just a simple moment where it's like, what in the world is going on? You think Jamie woke up that morning and thought he'd be hanging a baby? A baby, maybe. Not a baby kangaroo.
he had that little Joey in his arms just feeding the bottle.
Just what in the world is going on today on NASCAR TV? But that was pretty cool. I think Jamie he seemed kind of clueless too. What am I supposed to do here? What do I do with my hands?
Oh man,
that did make me laugh.
Well, my laugh was it the spring Talladega race? At the end of it's either stage 1 or stage 2, Bubba Wallace won the stage. And then Joey Logano just starts calling Austin Cindric every name in the book. I mean, he's like, "Good job, Austin. You just let Toyota get the stage win." Oh my God, dude, that was so funny. Even I'm sure Bubba was going to win it regardless, but man, it was just so funny to see Joey melt down over a stage.
I always appreciate a Joey Logano crash out because it's just so funny. You're freaking. He sounds like a nerd. He's
It is great as a Joey Logano fan. It is really funny when he gets angry because it's like the kid that gets picked on in high school is trying to yell back at a bully every time that he talks when he's
freaking frick, man.
Didn't some retired baseball player call him out on Twitter and
Chipper Jones?
Yeah,
Chipper Jones. That's an honorable mention for rivalry of the year. Honorable mention for rivalry of the year: Logano versus Chipper Jones.
Now, I will say we got a tie here, Drew. I'm afraid you can't go split now. You got to pick one because it tied it up. You got to pick one here.
Come on, Drew.
Oh, he's flipping.
Flipping the dip. Dinger.
AJ Allmendinger, he finally wins something.
Another W for NASholes.
All right. We're almost getting to the end here. Now, we decided to create our own awards. So there's not going to be necessarily, consensus winner, but everyone got to make up their own award and give the winner of said award. So let's see what everyone came up with. Sam, lead us off.
So this is our own award, right?
Mhm.
And we're just crowning our person for this award. We don't
Yes.
have okay. Because mine's a funny one. Um, Steve, you'll enjoy this. My award is the Congrats on Still Having a Job award, and I give it to Alan Gustafson because every single Chase Elliott fan all year fire Alan Gustafson, get him out of here, get him out of here, and all he did was make a run to what the round of 8. And he had the top 20 streak, and he was like the most consistent guy, and he just couldn't get a win there for a little while. So congratulations to Alan Gustafson on still having a job now at the end of the
Right,
season.
right. After in the beginning of the season, all the Chase Elliott fans like, they need to fire this guy. Like they were like literally freaking out at him, like, get him out of there.
Yeah, Chase Elliott makes the round of 8 like every year, and they got Allen's got to go.
Yeah, I mean, Allen probably would have put 2 on it at Phoenix, not pulled a Chris Gale and put 4 on it.
Hey man, I no, I didn't ask for this.
Well, I'm going to I'll try to keep it light because I'm going to go with the sentimental. We talked about it at the top of the episode. My award is going to be, if you're watching the guy in my background, I have the Human of the Year award. It's going to go to Greg Biffle.
Yes.
Everything that Greg did for not necessarily on the track, but off the track. I was reading a bunch of stories on Twitter today about how, he was helping a woman in a capsized boat on Lake Norman. Obviously, all of the efforts that he was putting into helping with the flooding in Tennessee and Western North Carolina, just everything that Greg represented off the track, and he wasn't trying to do any of it for attention. He's just was a selfless person, just wanted to help, had the resources to help, and never wanted the spotlight put on him. So my award, I just labeled as the Human of the Year award. It will go to Greg Biffle. Just a tragedy in the world today. It was a hard day to go at. So our thoughts are with everybody involved with that, the 7 lives that were lost, especially being a week before Christmas. That doesn't make it any easier by any means. So Greg and everybody else involved will certainly not be forgotten. And my award will be the Human of the Year, and it will be for Greg Biffle.
So I really couldn't think of one, and I've been trying to scramble for a makeshift award, but I think for a rookie driver that made the biggest impact, I'm gonna go Cletus McFarland, because like that guy, freaking like when he raced Daytona earlier this year, dude, like I was shocked that NASCAR was playing along with him. I was positive they didn't want anything to do with like YouTubers or anything like that, but they ended up being like, oh hey, this guy's got a massive following. Let's start integrating them in more. So I don't know, Cletus McFarland, just for being Cletus McFarland, I guess.
Well, I'm going to go with an award, and this is something that we usually do on our podcast. We usually do Dipshit of the Week. And so I'm going to do Dipshit of the Year, and I'm going with Austin Hill. I
second that.
Yeah, I mean, all of the shit that he got into, and then, basically him doubling down on his stupidity, like saying, I didn't do anything wrong. It's like, NASCAR freaking hates me. And then, like Richard Childress, backing him up and all that. And it's just like, what are you doing, you idiot? And then, I don't know. That guy just rubs me the wrong way. I'm sure you guys all feel the same way. And I'm just honestly shocked that he doesn't lose sponsors. And the whole year, he is just causing, wrecks and, pretty much, intentionally, doing things. And he's just a total dipshit, man.
let's not forget him flipping off the entire fan base.
Right.
After his win at what was it, Talladega?
Yeah.
After he said like he wants to be a role model for kids or
oh yeah,
whatever it was.
I need to be a good role model for the kids, and then goes and dumps Eric Almirola after being passed clean. Dipshit.
Yeah, and
Total dipshit.
and he tries to be one of the leaders when they have that meeting in the Xfinity Series garage after the shit shows in Martinsville, and everyone just found that funny that he was one of the ones trying to be a leader.
Austin Hill is literally the living embodiment of the cartoon Baby Huey, because he's just a big crybaby, and he can't keep his emotions in check. And I'm almost certain he wears a diaper.
Yeah, I'm trying to count in my head. I can't even remember how many different names I called Austin Hill this year. But my favorite, and I think the most recent, was Tater Brain. And I've never really had a more accurate description of him, because he's got to be one of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever seen inside of a stock car ever.
If we just have most hated driver of the year just be Austin Hill?
There you go. That could be a second award for you.
Yeah.
Well, that'll take it over to me. I was kind of between two, and I'll just spit them out real quick. So, just to put a wrap on 25. But the first one was going to be my "What in the hell do you think you're doing?" award. It was the dumbest move I think I've seen in a long time. And Dom, I hate to break your heart on this one, but Denny Hamlin at Talladega, when he tried to pit from the outside line and literally cut across a hot track, going like almost 100 miles an hour slower than the field, almost turned into one of the dumbest, like a Kevin LePage situation all over. Like that was going to be, and I still give it to him because he still did it. It's just nobody hit him, but it was just one of the dumbest things I think a driver, like Denny's a smart guy, but that was one of the dumbest things a driver's ever done, like in the sport. So I had to give Denny an award there, and then the other award was the meltdown of the year. I had to go, and just to give the truck series a little light, he was driving for Young's Motorsports, was Jason Alexander at New Hampshire when he wrecked himself. And then literally just exploded on the radio at whoever knows he cut across for like cutting. It's like his rookie year. He's only made like 1 or 2 starts, and he literally loses his mind and just goes absolute apeshit for no reason. Like, I mean, that was just, I don't know. It's been since probably Michael McDowell that one time. Well, I don't remember where he was. Maybe the Roval, where he just melted down so unexpectedly. Like, it's just an unexpected meltdown you don't expect to hear from somebody. So those are my two.
All right. My award is the Coming to Terms Award. And it goes to Joey Logano, who finally has shaved off his hair, has gone bald, and has finally accepted it. So we'll see. I mean, is this scary for the field next year?
Tough.
If
bald
he
Joey Logano,
if he can get a little tan on it, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look that bad if he gets a little tan on it. Right now, it's really white. There's been hair there for a long time. Let him get some sun on it. Let's see. Like midsummer, he gets a good tan on it. He's gonna have to remember to apply the sunscreen, keep it nice and shiny, right? But I don't know. We could see. It could happen. It could look good. We don't know.
Man, I'm telling you, is that a scary? Is Joey Logano about to reel off 8 wins? I mean, it's already even year Logano.
I don't know.
Now
he's
bald.
Aerodynamic now.
Well,
yeah, dude, he's got less drag.
Yeah. All right, and this takes us into our final award. It is the most valuable driver, or the driver of the year award. Let's see where we go here, Sam.
If this isn't consensus, I really don't know what will be. I'm gonna go Denny Hamlin for my driver of the year.
Denny Hamlin is the driver of the year.
Can't believe I heard these two guys just give Denny Hamlin driver of the year. I can't believe it.
Hate the guy.
Are these guys known Denny haters or what?
Yes. I am the most notorious.
Denny on the
I never got that vibe listening to your podcast before, so I really didn't.
Oh,
I just
there's
didn't
some
care about him,
episodes.
but I didn't know you hated him.
You should get a me and Dom dialogue going on how much I hate Denny Hamlin. But he was far and away. He was the class of the field. He even played the system right and still didn't win it.
Listen,
So
Denny Hamlin can't win a championship, so he's got to get a trophy somewhere. He might as well get it from the Foreign Fuel and NASholes award show here.
Right. That's right. My choice of driver was Denny Hamlin.
Yep, you have to go with Denny Hamlin. The year that he had, I mean, the guy was in every race. If you really look at it, like every race he had a shot. And even the haters in the championship race were upset that he didn't win. And it was heartbreaking. And it sucked. Like, I mean, I saw haters online like, man, I hate this guy, but man, this sucks. Like, I really kind of wish he would have won. And it really hurt because like I've come to really honestly appreciate Denny Hamlin and not only as like a driver but like for what he has done for this sport because he fights for what the fans are asking for and he goes to NASCAR and he got in the lawsuit with NASCAR and he fought for that and that's pretty huge settlement there which we didn't really touch a whole lot on, but we don't need to. And I just think that you just cannot discount this year that he had. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, there's nothing more to say than Denny Hamlin.
All right, well, I mean, I wish I could say it was a clean sweep, but there's definitely another guy he had to give consideration for, and the circumstances he was dealt, underfunded, uncharted.
don't say it. Don't.
Yeah, it's Denny Hamlin. It's Denny
like,
Hamlin.
He does not deserve a
I will
spotlight.
turn off my MacBook.
I was going
I
to say,
will
there's no
walk
way
away.
the biggest Denny Hamlin fan here is going to say something else.
Well, I think Wes, Sam, and Steve knew where I was going with that one, but
It's
Yeah, I was-
there's no we
You had
will
me. You had me
not
the
speak his
first
name
half, I
one
ain't
time
lying.
in 26.
yeah, I was quickly going for the power button on the computer.
You will be doing the Foreign Fuel podcast by yourself if the name that shall not be said is said.
yeah.
Who, by the
Denny
way,
Hamlin.
is a nice guy, but
Nice guy. Bad in the car. No. Good guy though. Good guy. Nice guy. Works hard.
Well, yeah, Denny Hamlin clean sweeps as the driver of the year. Just from what I mean, I went into the year when Chris Gale was named the crew chief. I had made the prediction that Denny Hamlin was going to go winless, and for him to win 6 races, should have won 7, and had that championship. It's just there was a pause there. I did not say that, back to back. So I see where you're trying to go there, but
Continue, Mr. Capilupo. Sorry.
yeah, with what Denny Hamlin did, the work he still puts into his craft at the age of 44. It's just kind of inspiring, and it's honestly probably why these next 2 years he'll probably still be competitive because he continues to put the work in to get any advantage he needs to get. And yeah, so I mean, it's not over yet for Denny Hamlin. I think he could still win a championship, but honestly, everyone knew he deserved that championship, and really,
Yeah.
at this point, if he doesn't win one, I mean, he's still a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. And
100%.
he'll be the best. He's the best driver without a championship in the history of NASCAR, and I don't think there's much of a debate now.
Yeah, you could make the argument that Mark Martin was the Denny Hamlin of his day.
Yeah, I mean, Mark was really good and really consistent, but Mark, I mean, maybe outside of 1998, just never had that fire, power to reel off 6 to 8 wins in a season and really be like the guy. But Mark, great driver, one of the best, if not the second best, to not win a championship. But I think Denny Hamlin's kind of solidified his spot. He's top 10 all time in wins now. One more, and he'll have that spot to himself over Kevin Harvick, which is impressive in itself.
Just to add, I don't think we've said his name the entire podcast, but just an honorable mention. Just to give him his flowers, Chase Briscoe. Like
Oh yeah.
what an impressive run just for him to be able to make the playoffs. New manufacturer, crew chief that had a driver the year before that wasn't 100% in. Nothing against Martin Truex, one of my favorite drivers, but obviously the 19 team was really struggling. And just for him to be able to make the playoffs, get as consistent as he did, and run top five on a weekly basis, win 3 races, I feel like Briscoe was definitely turning himself into a sleeper contender. So I feel like he kind of deserves his flowers just for being especially the second half of the year. I mean, he turned it on. He did the best he could, and I feel like didn't have the car at Phoenix, but he drove the wheel. He drove the best he could have drove, all things considered. So just to give a kind of an honorable mention, I feel like Briscoe was definitely an overlooked driver this year.
Oh,
Yeah,
I also
go
want to
ahead.
point out, I got to give Ty Dillon some credit here. Somehow backing his ass up to the final round of the tournament this year,
Oh
like
yeah.
just giant killing, just constantly. Like nobody thought he was going to make it out of the first round, and nobody thought he was going to make it all the way to the final, like 2 spots, But yeah, I gotta give him some credit for that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, back to Briscoe. I want to touch on that just a little bit. I mean, honestly, you could have picked him. Any of y'all could have picked him for most improved, and like that would have been acceptable. I mean, he was, and I have a soft spot for him because the first ever race I was at the Southern 500 that he won, and so I kind of root for him. But just to see the success he was having on a new team. That's all he really needed, man, was just more support and, better equipment and all of that. And, man, I think 2026 might be pretty bright for him. I mean, wouldn't be shocked if he'd be back up there for the championship 4.
Yeah, Benny, you took the words out of my mouth as we were talking about him. It kind of slipped my mind that he really could have had a strong case for most improved driver this year, just with what he did, either throughout the season or just to jump from last year to this year. Well, yeah, what he did was honestly incredible. And yeah, like Sam said when he was talking about Talladega and how he sat there and signed for over 100 people. I mean, he's just one of the nicer guys, and he just loves interacting with the fans. I got to meet him at Bass Pro Shops during that Charlotte trip too, so it was like really cool.
He's a great example of good guy and good driver. See, there's those too. We like those.
All right, just to recap the awards real quick. So, Rookie of the Year, we voted SVG. Most Improved Driver, we gave to Josh Berry. The Race of the Year was the Bristol Night Race. The Finish of the Year was the Coke Zero 400. The Upset Winner of the Year was Josh Berry at Las Vegas. The Crash of the Year went to the Big One at Atlanta in the summer. The Rivalry of the Year was Carson Hocevar versus The Field. The Performance of the Year was Ross Chastain's Coke 600 win. Favorite moment, we let everyone have that award. Favorite laugh went to AJ Allmendinger MFing ECR. We had our own awards, and then MVP or NVD or Driver of the Year, Denny Hamlin with the clean sweep there. Now, before we head out here, everyone, I want you to go down. We'll go in the same order. What is the best NASCAR gift? Since it's Christmas time, what is the best NASCAR present you've ever received?
Best NASCAR present I've ever seen. Oh, that kind of put me on the spot. I probably say I've got one of the jackets, like the varsity type jacket that has like the it's like a pit jacket.
Yeah.
I've got a Joey Logano one of those that I got for Christmas. So that's probably mine.
Nice.
It's outdated though, and it says 2 championships instead of 3. So
Oh, gotta update it. Dude.
Can't think. I don't ever remember getting something NASCAR specific from someone else. So I guess something that I got myself. I I sold it now, but I did have a die cast of Jeff Gordon's one of his Talladega wins, the COT race at Talladega, with that white and blue Pepsi
You had
car.
that car?
I had the 164 version of it.
Okay.
But I went through a stretch during the summer where I was selling off a lot of that, and that was one of them that sold. I kind of regret it once I was boxing it up. I was like, man, I wish I didn't get rid of this. But either way, that was one of like my favorite Jeff Gordon wins was that race, and having that diecast was pretty cool for a while.
Oh man, so I got to kick this all the way back to the mid 2000s when I was 8 years old. I got a Dale Earnhardt camo T-shirt, and I wore that every other day to school for the rest of that year. That was my favorite shirt. Oh yeah, I wish it still fit me because I'd still wear it today. It was a badass shirt.
So I haven't really gotten a whole lot of NASCAR presents. Again, I just got into NASCAR really a few years ago, thanks to Drew. Thank you, Drew. But my dad actually bought me the Ryan Blaney diecast that I got signed by him actually. So honestly, I think that's probably the best like present you can get a NASCAR fan is a diecast. A 124th or whatever it is, like the bigger ones.
My favorite dates back. I had to wait a whole year for this game. Because I remember I didn't get it when it first came out, and it might have been 2 years later, but it was NASCAR 98. Like that was the very first video game I ever got, and I had to wait for Christmas, whether I was 4 or 5. I can't remember what year it was, but the game had already been out for a while. But my dad got me that, so for me that was a really special memory.
So when it comes to NASCAR gifts, so for Christmas, I'd say my favorite was either I got a NASCAR, one of those jackets like you have, Sam, with Logano, but it's just a generic NASCAR one. And then also, when I was a kid, I got a 124 scale Jeff Gordon Rainbow Warriors like die cast, and it said like $1 million winner on the hood. So it was like for the Winston, the million he won at Darlington. It was like that car. That was really cool. And then just generic gifts I've gotten. My dad got me for, what was it, high school graduation? I think, or somewhere there around that time. He got me the when they were doing the Jeff Gordon VIP experience. So he got me that. So I got to basically be with Jeff Gordon for like an hour. Like the group of us got to hang out with Jeff Gordon and William Byron. This is when Byron was a rookie in 2018. And so that was really cool. And then back when I was a kid in 2007 at Las Vegas, I went to the race and my mom like won a lot of money at the casino the night before we went to the track. So then she's like, "Oh, well, you can get whatever you want." So I ended up getting the Jeff Gordon Flames jacket. That jacket, oh my God, I wish I was like 200 pounds lighter and 2 feet shorter so I could fit in that thing again.
I started thinking about mine. I want to change my answer. This diecast right here. It's the 124 of the 2009 Alabama National Championship. This thing sat on my bookshelf in my room for basically the entire time I lived with my parents. I loved that thing. I still do. It's one of my favorite paint schemes of all time.
So yeah, that's an episode. That is an award show. I mean, I had a lot of fun. That was really awesome. Thank you, Drew and Benny, for joining us. It's been a long time coming. We've been
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I appreciate you having us on, man. It's been fun. It's been fun.
Yeah, man. Like, thanks for having us, dude. This was really fun, and we're happy to do it anytime. Anytime you need some fill-ins, we'll do it.
Oh, yeah.
And likewise, if you need any of us on the NASholes podcast, I'm sure we're all
Yes, sir.
very down to
Steven
do
already
it.
did it once, and that was a good time, Steven.
Yeah, that was a good time for sure.
And listen, if it means us recording this early in the night too, since I have to work at 5 a.m, I mean, let's just have you guys on every week. I mean, that's just, that's what I'm talking about.
I
But
don't have a life, so I can do it.
So, Christmas being next week, this will be our last episode till Christmas, and then we'll do another episode between Christmas and New Year's to get one more in for that. But I'd love to have you guys back on before next season so we could kind of maybe do a preview, predictions episode with you guys before 2026 starts at Daytona, if you guys are down to do that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
down.
I mean that would be awesome. And we're probably looking to record a little end of the season episode, so something similar to what we did here today. Maybe have you guys on. Me and Drew kind of have to work through how we're going to do it. But we also always like to do a little preview before the season. So yeah, we'll let you guys know, and always happy to have anybody on. And we do have a new person joining our podcast, which we will reveal in our next episode because I think he's going to be on. And I think Drew. I don't know. So yeah, you guys.
Yeah, I don't know yet. But...
So
is this me finding out Steve's leaving us to join
No.
NASholes?
Well,
No, it's nothing like that. But he could if he wanted to.
He
I
has the
didn't-
NASholes nectar. It's
Yeah.
it's too powerful.
I didn't want this to be the episode that you guys found out.
Sorry, guys.
Jeez, did Steve get a whiff of Hoist and just decide to
dude,
leave us?
Clearly,
He's
dude.
doing it for Biff, man.
Oh, but
Man, shout out the Hoist too, man. Big love.
Yeah.
Send us more free merch.
Yep. Shout out to Hoist, our official, unofficial sponsor.
Yes, I still rep the Hoist sticker on the back of my manual wheelchair, and I tell people that's my sponsor.
yes.
It's tight. It's tight.
But yeah, with Christmas next week, I just want to say to Sam, Wes, and Steve, I appreciate you guys, what you guys have done all year, helping and with this podcast, getting this thing going. Did all year this time. We finally stuck through, got through the whole season, whole year. We're making
It's
some
tough.
moves, and yeah, it's a grind. It really is, and I wouldn't be able to do it by myself. So the work you guys have contributed and showing up every week, I really appreciate that going into the holiday season. So just wanted to show my gratefulness for you guys.
That was so heartfelt, man. I appreciate that. And
Ditto.
likewise. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Right back at you, champ.
Yeah.
you three are the guys. Drew and Benny, you guys too, but you three, Dom, Steve, Sam, you make the magic happen. I'm just here.
Well, this isn't complete without you, Wes. So give yourself some credit too.
Oh, one day, one day I will.
Well,
I'm glad
so
I'm
yeah.
not the only person like that in this chat now.
All right. So thank you all for listening. And like we said, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we'll see you before the New Year. So don't worry about that. I'm not going to wish you Happy New Year just yet. So for Sam, Wes, Steve, and then Benny and Drew from NASholes, I'm Dom, and we'll see you after Christmas on the Forward Field Podcast.
Peace. Biff.
Rip Biff.